What is up, YouTube? This is DEFCON 3 Security coming at you from somewhere here on Spaceship Earth. Honestly, this is like take 6. There's been so many reasons why I had to start this video over, and it's driving me absolutely crazy. I cannot get past the 1.5 minute mark. The last time my cat jumped and knocked my phone down, and I hit the stop button. So yeah, I know it's been a while since I've put out a video, and I'm sorry. I think this is the longest stretch of time that I've had between not making videos, and I'll try not to do that. It partly has to do with the fact that I'm starting work a bit earlier, and usually I get to work and I have like 30 minutes before work starts, and I just sit in my vehicle and I'll talk to you guys. Well, since I've been starting work earlier, I've been getting to work and it's been dark. And you know, when it's dark, I can't really talk. And now my cat's playing with this toy, and I'm gonna get distracted again. That little chirping sound you hear, that's my cat tossing around this little toy. Anyway, so sometimes I just don't have any content. I sit there and I'm like, gosh, what am I gonna talk about? I don't want to just spew out things for the sake of talking. Well, today I do have a topic. You know, I get this in my comments a lot. When I'm on a job site, people ask me this question quite often. And that question is, well, hey man, don't you think you have too much gear on? Right? The reality is, I don't think you can ever have enough gear. As security guards, we don't know what one day will look like from another, right? There's days where I go through a dry spell, nothing happens for days, and you start to get complacent and comfortable, and it's days like that that something bad happens when you do get comfortable. And when I mean comfortable, sometimes you're like, I'll just leave my vest in the car today. I'm not going to carry the normal 4 magazines that I carry. I only carry 2 today on my side. I don't do that ever. I always have all my gear on, regardless of how I feel the week's going or the month, or if I feel like it's a non-threatening environment, I still wear the same gear, because anything can happen at any time. So I like to always just be ahead of the game. The other thing is, when I have a lot of gear on, it's a visual deterrent. If you guys know, I am all about de-escalation and being a visual deterrent. I just would rather not have anything happen at all than to have something happen and try to, negotiate that obstacle. So I wear a lot of gear because A, it's a visual deterrent, and B, it keeps me safe and people around me safe. So hold on, I got a little troublemaker right here. What do we got here? She got a new collar, and she's been taking it off. Let's show the new collar. There we go. It's a kitten collar. All right. So yeah, guys. I had a guy a few days ago on a job site say, "Wow, man, don't you think you got enough magazines on you?" And somebody else said, "You can never have enough ammo in a gunfight." And he made a point there. I certainly do believe that. So yeah, if you feel like the gear is hindering you and it slows you down and you're not able to stand up, by all means, adjust your gear. But for me, I do just fine with all the gear I have on. And again, people look at me and they go, wow, this guy looks like he's ready for war. And sometimes on a job site, you basically are getting ready for war, because you don't know what is going to happen during that day. So speaking of gear, going back another site that I worked at maybe a year ago, we had, and it still goes on every day, I was working at a site, and almost on a daily basis, man, why am I saying almost? Definitely on a daily basis, vehicles were getting broken into constantly. And when I mean constantly, just on the strip that I was on, you would get between 20 and 30 vehicles broken into every single day. When I first started on that site, it was a little bothersome. I would actually see the guys pull up next to vehicles, smash the windows, and take the contents out of the vehicle. And as a guard, I felt obligated to do something, right? Yell at these guys or shoo them away or, hey, get off this side, or you get it, threaten them, do whatever you do. Um, Even when it's happening across the street on somebody else's property, you almost feel obligated to get in there and say something because, people are constant. Oh gosh, now I have two cats fighting. I'm sorry. Let me close the window. Okay. So yeah, you feel obligated to do something. And I'll get back to that in a second. But these criminals know exactly what they're doing, and you don't want to mess with their money because if you see one car doing something bad or a group of people doing something bad, I can assure you that they have thought 3 steps ahead of you, and they've got their boys at the corner waiting for somebody to try to intervene, and it could end bad. So I've had guys come up to me when I was new in the industry, and they would say, "Hey man, what kind of gun you got there?" And people seem friendly, like, "Oh, what kind of vest you got, man? Can that vest stop a?" They start asking questions, and other guards would be open, like, "Oh yeah, man, it's a 40 caliber," and they'll say, "Well, damn, dude, that's a nice vest. What is it? Is that like a 3A vest? Is that a 2A vest?" And you innocently answer because you just figure you're shooting a crap with somebody. Um, After seeing these criminals and how um, calculated they can be, I started thinking to myself, how do I know that that guy asking the questions is not a crook waiting to infiltrate our post and know what kind of vest you have and what kind of firearm you have? And sometimes they'll say, "Oh, you working this week?" Or "Is that one guard working this week?" I think they can fill out who's going to work that week. And all right, well, this week it's going to be that big guy, so we know he can't run. So I'm maybe overthinking this, but I'm telling you guys, these criminals that were breaking into these cars, they had their stuff so figured out that to this day, cops could not catch them. They are so elusive, and they seem to know every guard's name and our shifts. And again, this is going back a year, and it made me think like it's probably not a good idea when somebody asks you a question like, "Well, what kind of gun you got there?" Make a joke out of it. It's a gun that shoots straight. What kind of vest do you have? Tell them it's a heavy vest. Just whatever you can do to kind of defuse that conversation, but don't divulge any information. I'm telling you, these guys can be one step ahead of you, and it just puts you in danger and your staff and the people you're protecting. Going back to earlier, don't mess with somebody's money. If the crime is not being done on your property and you see somebody doing something bad on somebody else's property, just call the cops. Do not try to get involved. A lot of times these groups are organized crime groups, and if you start messing with their money, you will definitely find yourself at the end of the day lying on the side of the street because you were killed for getting into somebody else's business. So this is their livelihood, as bad as it may sound. And if you get in between a man and his money, you can get yourself hurt. So my advice to you, stay with your own property, guard your own property. Don't try to be a hero. You don't have to physically go there and break up something to be a hero. By you picking up the phone and calling 911 anonymously, you've done more than most people would do, and you can consider yourself a hero for that. But try not to get involved in those things. Try not to tell people what kind of firearm you have or vest or who's working this week, or because they will try to figure out your schedule and other people's schedules, to try to figure out the best time to take a place out. If you got 3 heavy set guys working on a Saturday and they know this, they're going to be like, oh, this is going to be a piece of cake. If they know that you've been a guard for only 3 weeks and the other two guys you're working with haven't been a guard for more than a week, they're going to take advantage of that. They don't want to come on a day when the senior guards are on post. They're going to come on days that they know that guys that are new on the job or guys that have just gotten their firearm permit. I've seen people say, wow, man, how long have you had your permit for? How long have you been shooting for? You know, all these questions may seem innocent up front, but in reality, it might be somebody testing the waters. So again, my advice is just keep those things to a minimal. I've been giving that a lot of thought lately, and I just figured it would be a good thing to touch upon. So yeah, guys, that's about it. It is gonna be one of those reintroducing myself to YouTube videos. I feel a little bit rusty. It's been a few weeks since I've been on here, and it's taken me 6 takes to make this video. And I almost wanted to restart this one because I feel like it's not consistent. I feel like the cats are driving me crazy here. But I'm going to push this one through. Hey, you guys know your worth. You know your value. Please value your time. Don't tell anybody any of your business. And above all, be safe.